Faith Point congregation. My name is Kaya, and I'm involved in the Faith Point youth group. I've noticed as I've been growing up that people are always worried about the future, especially with this whole COVID-19 and the breakout and everything else. When people are asking, when's the quarantine going to lift for good? When is the vaccine going to be found? Just in general, a lot of wondering what the future will hold. And honestly, people would still worry without the global pandemic. Just general day life. Like for me, I have a lot going on right now. I just turned 18, graduated high school, applied for college, bought a car. Just a lot of stuff is going on, as I'm sure everyone else has so much stuff going on in their life. So many things are happening. It just seems like the future is just so uncertain, which is kind of really scary. What I find comforting is just getting into the Word. So I found a couple verses which I thought helped me, so I'm going to share them. The first one is from Philippians 4:6, and it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving present your requests to God," which I think is just a really good verse because it's basically saying, don't worry and pray, which is so simple. It's such a simple and small verse, and yet it has so much meaning behind it. Because the instructions themselves, just not worry and pray, seem easy, but how much do you worry every day? I know I worry a lot, and I always find that after praying, I always feel so much better. And they're just simple instructions, but they can do so much. The next verse is from Matthew 6, which previously in the verse from where we're reading, Jesus talks about not putting worldly things above your relationship with God. And in the verse we're talking about, which is Matthew 6:34, I feel like a lot of people know it, it reads, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own," which by itself is a great verse, but the verse previous to it, verse 33, I think it adds a lot to the meaning and it's important for context. So that verse reads, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." So together they read, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, for all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." And, I think what this verse is trying to say is, focus on God and the rest will follow. Just focus on, building our relationship with God, and that's all that's really important, and not, worrying about this world. The final verse is my favorite verse because it also happens to be my confirmation verse, and it's very, very popular. It's Jeremiah 29:11, and that reads, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." And I feel like that one just sums it up really nice, because God knows what's going to happen. He has a plan for all of us, and there's so many verses in the Bible about not worrying or laying your worries on God, and I think it's important to really focus on those because, like I told you, I'm a worrywart. I worry all the time, and it tells us you don't need to. Just lay your worries on God. I also found this a really amazing quote, and for the life of me, I could not remember who it was from, so I had to look it up. And his name, the guy the quote's from, is Ralph Abernathy, who was a friend of Martin Luther King Jr. And the quote simply reads, "I don't know the future, but I know who holds it." And I just think it's so powerful because, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it doesn't matter because we have the Lord. And I just think that's all we really need to worry about, right? And that's just my thoughts on, worrying about the future and what the future holds with this pandemic or just in general. It doesn't matter because we have the Lord. And that's what I wanted to say.